Yes. Being recorded.
You can choose to accept or you can leave. I like those options.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even give you like, I'm going to ask if we can not. It's like leave then.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi. Hello, everyone. I suppose like Andrew would usually kick this off, but again, he is camping. So I'm here to say hi and welcome you all to the mentor orientation for summer 2021. It's 2021 now.
Yes.
Welcome. So I think what we should do is probably start with a round of introductions because I know that there's some newer people on the call. So let's do name, pronouns, location. Oh, and like who you are at Collab Lab, like what team you're with, maybe your experience with Collab Lab so far, if you've been around for a long time, which I see some faces here who have been around for a very long time. Looking at Luca mostly here and Lauren, obviously. Okay, so, and anything else you want to share? If you want to share something else, feel free, we want to hear it. So hi, I'm Stacy. I'm co-founder of Collab Lab along with Andrew. She, her, hers. I'm based in Sacramento, California. And is that all? That's me. Hi, welcome. I will pass it to Lauren and then just hand it off to whoever you want to go next.
Nice. Oh, Natchez here. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Beatty, she, her, hers. Hello. I live just outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a longtime mentor with Collab Lab, and I help organize mentors into teams and into cohorts and do various other things with Collab Lab. And I just started a new job last week, so my brain is really mush.
But it's us. It's happier.
It's yay! So exciting. I'm just blown away. Okay, and that is it. So I'm going to pass it off to Chiamaka.
Hello, my name is Chiamaka. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm in Nigeria, and I participated in the January batch of Collab Lab, so 2 cohorts ago.
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet everyone.
Okay, do you want to pass it off? Yeah.
To Luca.
Hi, everyone. My name is Luca. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am proud participant of TCL 8, and then ever since we united with Collab Lab as an assistant mentor first, and then as an lead mentor for the Europe and Africa team. I'm currently in the country of Georgia, but I've been living in New York for the past 10 years, and I'm just spending some time here until things get back to normal. So nice to see you all.
Yeah.
And I will pass to April.
Hi, I'm April Bowler, she, her, hers. And I live in Southern California in Corona, which is just outside of Los Angeles. And this is my first round with the Collab Lab as an assistant mentor. So yay me. And Kevin.
Hey, I'm Kevin. I am, so it's he, him, his, and I'm currently in the UK, and I don't know where I'm normally based. Ever since I left the military, I've just been moving around all over the place. And this is my first time doing this, so I'll be a mentor this time around, and I'm super stoked to be here.
Welcome.
Luis?
Hi, I'm Luis, and he, him. I'm based in Sacramento. I did the Collab Lab last cohort as an assistant mentor with Lauren, and then this summer I'm doing cohort 28 as a lead mentor. So, Lyle.
Hey, hi. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late this morning. It sounds like we're doing introductions. So hi, I'm Lyle. I'm a developer based out of Portland. He, him, and I was a mentor with the spring collab for TCL 21, and here doing it again. But I wanted to be here and do the orientation as well. So it's nice to meet all of you. Happy to see you. And I don't know who hasn't gone yet since I just joined on the meeting like 2 seconds ago. So does anybody still need to go? Raise your hand. Yeah, Cameron. Cameron? Cameron? Cameron, cool.
Yes, don't feel bad, I get that all the time. So my name is Cameron, he, him, his. I'm based in Portland, Oregon. This is my first time doing the Collab Lab, so I'm very excited to be here as a mentor to help out. Let's see, Scott.
Alrighty, hey there, I'm Scott, he, him, and I am currently based out of Boulder, Colorado. I will be moving to San Francisco in August, so I think while this is all going on. But yeah, so gosh, apart from that, I guess I'm a new assistant mentor. I'm going to be under the tutelage of Lewis here, so it'll be a lot of fun. And let's see here, next up, Yenli. Is it Yenli? Sorry.
Hi, yes, that's right. You got it right. Hi, Yenli. So last cohort was my first time mentoring and it was so rewarding. So that's why I'm here again this time. This time leading TCL 26. So really excited to get started. What else? Oh, she, her. What else have I forgot? I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. So welcome everybody. And next, Bella.
Hi everyone, I am Bella. I am based in Munich, Germany. It's very nice to see all of you today. Is there someone left that didn't talk so far?
Unnati.
Hi everyone, I'm Unnati. My pronouns are she/her. I'm a developer here in India. That's where I'm based currently. And yeah, I'm excited to join Collab as a mentor.
Amazing. Okay, that was everybody, right? Nobody else left. Great. Welcome to all of you. And thank you so much for coming to help at Collab Lab and being one of us. And just don't volunteering your time. It's so important. Do you hear this car peeling out outside? I'm so sorry, it's so loud. Anyway, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through a mentor orientation to kind of just get you more familiar with what we're doing here and what expectations there are. Many of you are brand new, but some of you have long experience with us or maybe a little bit. So some of this will probably be repeat information for you. I'm gonna shut my door real quick. Okay, I'm back. It was very loud. Anyway, but let's all just learn and grow together. And if you have experience at Collab Lab and you want to share, thoughts or comments or questions or whatever, just this is about you all. So I want to hear from you. Okay, so what is Collab Lab? And I hope you all, Lauren shared this in Slack, so you can open this up and follow along if you want as well. But at a high level, we are a remote collaborative project practice for early career developers. So the way we see it is there's a lot of early career engineers who are learning how to code on their own or in boot camps and then are going out into the world to find their first job as a developer. But they need a little bit more experience in the teamwork side of things and the collaboration side of things. And so that's the gap that we're trying to fill here to prepare people to go out to work on real software teams and be successful. So it is completely volunteer driven. That's all of us, the volunteers, so that it can be free for participants. Because another thing that we try to do is break down the barriers into tech, especially for people from underrepresented groups. And one of those barriers a lot of times is the cost that a lot of these programs come with. So it's really important for us to break down that barrier by offering this for free. And we can only do that because of the good heart and nature of our volunteers. Again, that's you. Thank you. So what sets us aside from similar programs, sets us apart from them, is that we have a big focus on pair programming. So everybody who comes to Collab Lab comes with a different set of skills. Some are very technically skilled, some are less technically skilled, but have really great organizational skills, or whatever those might be. And so together, when we pair program and we're really transparent with each other and really connected with each other, we can build really beautiful teams and learn and grow together, which is amazing. So another thing that really sets us aside, and one of the things I think that is most important to us, is that we really emphasize psychological safety for our participants. And there have been a number of past participants who have said that they felt really safe to fail at Collab Lab and learn and grow from that. And that is, I think, one of the greatest strengths of our program. And the only way that we can uphold this psychological safety is by having great mentors, you, who are gonna live that life for us and give your Collabbies a really safe, supportive space to learn and grow. So if we can be really transparent and vulnerable and demonstrate what that looks like for our Collabbies, they'll start to do the same kinds of things and have the same values. And I like to think that they can then take that mentality and take those practices out into the tech world with them. And that's where we can start changing tech for the better. So I am going to, would you mind popping open the participant expectations page? Perfect. So y'all are the mentors. Some of you have been participants before, but the expectations for participants are these. They are a team of 4 Collabbies. Each week, they're broken up into pairs of 2 each, and they're going to work through a single issue together, which is in the backlog, which is in GitHub, and I think Lauren might show you. Yeah. And so high level, what I want you to know about the Collabbies is that this is like starting a new job for them. They're coming onto a whole new team of people that they don't know, working with technology that they might not be very familiar with, whether it's Zoom or Slack is brand new to them, or they're not super strong in React or Firebase or something they're working with. So it can be a really intimidating experience. And it's our job to make sure that they feel safe and supported and have what they need to be successful here. So be really mindful of the fact that this is a big leap for them, and it's a big leap for them to give their trust in us for this program. So we need to be really supportive and be there for them and be responsive so that they know that, yes, this is new, and yes, it can be intimidating and scary, but they can totally do it, and we're here to make sure that they succeed. So yes, mentor expectations, perfect. Okay. And with that, like with the participants thing too, like this all being very new to them, it might take some coaxing to get them familiar with what's happening and comfortable being transparent and speaking up and asking questions. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared to really kind of over exaggerate transparency and vulnerability and stuff so that you can model what that should look like for them. Okay. On to mentor expectations. That's us. You are the lifeblood of Collab Lab. We could not do it without you. We literally could not do it without you. And appreciate your participation so much, and all of the time and effort that you spend helping other people grow is incredible. And I thank you so much. Thank you for being here. But these are some of the characteristics that we think make up a great Collab Lab mentor. 1, being engaged. And that's like being actively engaged. Like I said, it's like they're starting a new job. So we need you to be very present there. And it doesn't even just have to be about, the project that they're working on. Be a pal, be a good mentor, somebody there who's going to be there to support them. You need to like build trust with them. So be engaged, whether that's asking how their work is going and keeping them on track, or just being a pal. Be supportive. As an early career engineer, I'm sure most of you can remember, it's really intimidating and there's a lot of imposter syndrome, and you need to know that there's somebody there that has your back so that you can start to believe that you can do it. So be supportive of them when they ask questions, when they're struggling with things. When they're out trying to find jobs, be supportive, give them that safety net that they need so that they can go out in the world and conquer. Be responsive. This is like one of the reasons why we have 3 mentors per team. I'm sure you can remember, it's not even like remembering back. Think of any time you struggled with anything and you needed help and you asked for it. If you didn't get a response, pretty quickly you start spiraling and you start like getting in your head about it, and it can become like a really toxic place. So try to be really responsive with your team when they have questions and comments and concerns. And I'm not saying like be available around the clock, but make sure you're setting really good expectations about when you can be expected to be responsive so that they know that they know that they can trust you and that they have you. And I think Lauren will go into that a little more too. And be communicative. And that's like, I feel like this is the broadest term, but when I think of what it means to be communicative in this sense, be loud about how you're feeling and what's happening. Be vulnerable and be transparent. Be communicative if you see something isn't quite going to plan or something could be improved, whether that's with your team or Collab Lab at large. The only way that we can continue growing Collab Lab and making this a better place for everybody is if we hear your thoughts and we get feedback. So be really communicative, and most importantly, be a warm demander. And there's an article here that is brilliant, and I hope you will all read it. But a high level is, when you're a warm demander, you believe that Collabbies can do anything that they set their mind to. And when you build trust with them and teach them how to have self-discipline and embrace failure, and not just like celebrate failure, but explain why it's important and really learn and grow from it, it's only once we do those things that they can really start to believe it too. And by being a warm demander, you're teaching them how to be a warm demander, and then they can take that again with them through their careers and through their life, and achieve the impossible. So be a warm demander. Check out that article. It's amazing. And last but not least from me, before I pass it over to Lauren, is that if you feel like somebody on your team is struggling, whether it's one of your Collabbies or a co-mentor, or even if it's you, don't tackle that on an island. Don't do it by yourself. We are all here and in this together. So be transparent and vulnerable with us. Reach out to me or Lauren or Andrew if you need help yourself, or with a fellow mentor supporting somebody. And if it's with one of your Collabbies, be really vocal with the rest of your team too, because it's so important that we support each other here and that everybody has a really good experience. And if we're on an island, it's not going to happen. So let's all be in this together and support each other and have a really good time. So with that, I will turn it over to Lauren to set us up with some other expectations.
Nice. So just like this is a new experience for our Collabbies, this is also a new experience for many of our mentors. And like, we understand that being a new mentor has a lot of unknowns to it, right? Like how does it work? How do I actually be a mentor? So I'm going to be going through a lot of details about what the day-to-day and week-to-week is like for being a mentor with Collab Lab. But just know that we have a ton of information in this mentor playbook. There's a lot of the processes and what to do at each step of the way documented in the mentor playbook. So please feel free to explore the mentor playbook just to see what we have in there. So things that you can do to prepare. Inside of the Collab Lab entered the waiting. I think Andrew's coming. Inside of the Smart Shopping List template repository, there is an orientation markdown file and a project brief markdown file. Let me see if I can open these here. Yeah, this is what we'll be going through with the Collabbies the week before the project officially kicks off. We will have several different orientation sessions for all the participants. It's great if you can come to one of those orientation sessions just to meet the new participants, where we'll go through this Collab Lab orientation document with them. So it's great if you can go through this orientation ahead of time. In addition, there's a project brief, which really just we'll be setting that up ahead of time for in each repository for each team that will outline like where is the production site, where is the Firebase database instance, where which pairs are pairing during which weeks. We'll have all of that set up for you. So review those files in the Smart Shopping List template repo. If you'd like to get familiar with the project that the Collabbies are working on, go ahead and fork the template repo or clone it and complete the project yourself. We have, if you look, let's see, we have the issues that the participants work throughout their 8 weeks. And we also have, that is me. And we also have coaching notes. And please feel free as you're working through the program with participants. If you see, Yunli is so fantastic at this, giving us feedback. So if you have feedback and are the participants are getting confused about particular issues, please put in some coaching notes, things that maybe help them get through a particular story that they were working on for that week. But know that we have all of these issues that you can work through yourself on the project to build the smart shopping list. And there's some coaching notes that you can look at ahead of time so you know how to help your Collabbies just a little bit better.
I would say too, on that note, even if you're not going to actually do the project, do take time to go through all of those issues in detail and think about how the project will come together as a whole, because there might be some things down the line, you know, week 5, week 6, where if you had known that that was coming, you could have given better advice during week 1, week 2, week 3. So if you don't have time to do the whole project, that's fine, but do definitely get very familiar with those issues. And one thing that we've said in the past, I don't know if it's ever been done, but if you want to work with your co-mentors to like pair through the app build before it starts, like that would be really cool. Okay.
Yes, super smart. And yes, I tell participants this too in my teams, that it's a really, really, really good idea to read through all of the issues to really know what's coming up, right? I think that we all understand that in our own work, that knowing what's coming really helps you work on the current issues of today. So at least being really familiar with the project and what they're working toward is fantastic. So I've already created group teams for each of the mentor teams for like TCL 30, 29, et cetera, and I've created Slack channels. So go ahead, start poking around Slack, seeing and start being noisy in Slack. We're participant applications close today, so we'll be selecting teams really, really soon. Probably by the end of next week, we'll have our team set. So once those teams come in, start being really noisy in Slack in your channels, be super welcoming, right? Remember, like they're going to be really nervous and not sure what they're supposed to be doing. So being really encouraging and just positive and showing that excitement is really important part of Collab Lab. Make sure that you're looking through your personal calendar. We understand it's summer, people have vacations planned. So really coordinating with your fellow mentors on your team when you're going to be available and not available is super important. Awesome, so onboarding your team. Again, they're going to be joining pretty soon. So hopping in those channels and being really encouraging is very, very, very important. It's really one of the most important things that we do at Collab Lab is just being open, warm, inviting, welcoming, and encouraging all of the time. It's very important. And especially those first 2 weeks, right? It's like starting a new job. You don't know anybody. You are scared that you get there and you think everybody knows more than you do, right? That you want to make sure that everyone feels like they belong there and that they're welcome and that they can do it, right? That you believe in them. So lots of cheerleading is really, really important part of what we do for sure. And really, if you think you're cheerleading too much, you're not. Really go overboard. It's super important to just be as positive as we can be. The week leading up to the start of the team, developers, of course, are going to that orientation, and as part of the pre-work that they need to do is that they need to make sure that they are able to pull down the repository, get it set up on their local machines, and then they're going to add themselves to the contributors markdown file that's part of their project. And this is just so that we make sure they're able to get started with the Git flow, that they're able to successfully build the project on their machine and then push up to GitHub. We just want them to be set up for success before the project starts. So be looking for your developers on your team to be contributing themselves to this file. And if you notice that someone's not on there, just go ahead and reach out and set up a Zoom call and see if you can help them make sure that they get set up. What we were finding kind of earlier on in the program is that some people weren't able to get it set up. You know, we always run into issues with like node versions, et cetera, and those things are really hard to debug for all of us. So we just want to, and they were too scared to tell us, right, that they weren't able to do it. So we just want to make sure that they feel comfortable reaching out to us for help and that we offer that help and we can get them set up for success. Stacey had mentioned this earlier, setting scheduling expectations. So just know that most of our communication is going to happen in Slack, out in the open on our Slack channels. Make sure that you just want to let people know when you're available, right? That maybe during the workday for you, you won't be responding to messages, but you can set the expectation that I will get back to you within a certain time, or, oh, yep, I see you have this pull request open and your peers have reviewed it. I'll get to it by such and such a time. That's really good. That's really good modeling for us to do, to have that open communication to let people know what they can expect from you and when. Excellent. All right, cohort orientation. I mentioned this already. The week before we start, which I think is officially like the weekend of July 11th. The week before we start, we'll have 3 or 4 orientation sessions. So all the Collabbies can attend. They're required to attend. If you can attend one of those sessions, that would be fantastic. It's really great to have mentors on that call. So Collabbies can get familiar with who we all are. That would be fantastic. Let's see. So that meeting will be led by 3 of us who have gone through the project before. And it's really important that we're going to, again, try to bring that really positive energy and orientation. Or what did I say? I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought. Forgive me. Oh my gosh. Okay. So as a mentor, probably the 2 roles that you're playing are, number one, you're kind of acting in the role of that senior developer. So we play the role of, okay, we've either gone through the project before, we're really familiar with it, we're experienced in this area of development, and we can help them through challenges that they run into, any roadblocks that they have. So we play the role of the senior developer, coaching the team through their issues, helping them think about how they want to architect their solution, right? Helping to guide them technically. So that's one of the roles that we play. And then the other role that we play really is as the product owner. So each of the issues that they work throughout the program has acceptance criteria. And we have the final say in code review, whether those issues, whether their work meets those acceptance criteria. So the pull requests go through 2 rounds of code review. Pairs will work in teams and submit a pull request, but first the opposite pair of developers will do that code review so that the Collabbies build that code review muscle, right? And once it's approved by that first group of developers, then it goes to mentors for code review. And I think it's important to emphasize that not only are we're looking to help them be good at writing code and be good at communicating their ideas, right, in code and in their pull requests. But it's really important that if it meets the acceptance criteria, that we give it a thumbs up, right? That it's more of a product focused review and less of a, it should be done this way kind of review. Like, it's great to offer positive suggestions, give positive feedback on the work that they've done and say, oh, this is, I love how you did this. This is another way maybe that you could approach the same problem, but this is totally works, right? That it's more of a product focused review rather than this is the very best way to write this code review, right? So we have the final say whether or not those PRs meet the acceptance criteria, and then the pairs can merge their work into me and celebrate. What questions? Are there any questions that are popping in? Nope. Okay. Office hours. So what we've been finding as the program is growing and growing, we get more and more applicants, and all of the applicants are really, really excellent, like really highly skilled. And we're finding that they're not needing, and in general, participants aren't needing as much guidance from us as developers. So we instituted office hours. So you'll take turns with the other developers on your team to host an office hour during the week. And so during this time, you don't have to prepare a special presentation, or it's really just a time for us to have FaceTime with our participants, because we really get so few opportunities to connect with them face to face, right? It's really great to just to connect with them personally. I like to talk about career, job hunting, you know, check in with them, how they're doing, if they're looking for jobs, or a lot of times participants are starting brand new jobs, like to check in with them and how it's going for them. Some people will offer a presentation maybe, or on a topic that's really particularly interesting to them, like people talk about testing, et cetera, et cetera. But just know that this isn't something that you have to prepare a special presentation for office hours. It's just a time that we can have more FaceTime with our participants and build that camaraderie and network and safe space for them, right? Because we get so few times that we can connect with them. Excellent. So that's one of our expectations, is that, you know, if Yenli and I were working on the same team, she would host office hours one week, and then I would host office hours the next week, and you'll establish who's doing what when during the mentor planning meeting, which I will talk about soon. Weekly syncs. So this is probably the most important part of what you do as a mentor, for sure, is host a weekly sync. This is the other time that we get to have that face-to-face time with our participants. So the expectation is that it's prepared and polished, and that the learning modules are very polished, and that people know what they're doing when, right? This time is the time to really bring lots of energy and positivity and good vibes to these weekly syncs. Let's see. So the format of the weekly syncs look a little bit different. So week 0, right, is like the kickoff call for your team with your mentor team and your 4 participants. So during week 0, you'll do introductions. There will be a learning module on Git, which we found that that's one of the biggest hurdles, I think, for developers, is learning that Git flow. So we have a learning module on Git during that week 0 call, and then you'll introduce the 2 issues for the coming week, and you'll make sure that your 2 teams are set up with their branches on their machine, and set up the teams for success that way. And then from then on, then we have odd numbered weeks and even numbered weeks. So on odd numbered weeks, the teams will do a demo of the work that they did for the past week. And I really like to encourage them to make these as polished and buttoned up as possible, like really, really very prepared, and setting them up for success when they have jobs and they're demoing to clients, or they're demoing to other teams, or demoing to their company, right? So that they learn what that's like. And then we'll have learning modules. And again, so let me go to, as part of the mentor playbook, we have a guide to weekly syncs that tells you, gives you lots of information about how to run each different part of a weekly sync. And all of the learning modules, we have slides already prepared, and we have different previous examples of somebody giving that presentation in both English and Spanish. So we have learning modules. Here's the one on Git. Code review is the next one. Pair programming, right? Most of our learning modules are really focused on collaborative skills, like how do we work together as developers? Communication for developers, this is one of my favorite ones. And the last one we do is on accessibility, also a really fantastic one. So just know that the slides are here available for you, and you can just clone your own copy of that if you'd like to add your own speaker notes, etc. And then you can watch an example of somebody doing that presentation in the past, just so you get an idea of what it's like. So that's odd numbered weeks. And then finally, again, mentors, we lead the assignment of those issues for the coming week and help, especially the first couple of weeks. I like to make sure that the developers are set up with their branches on their machines. Usually after the first couple of weeks, everyone's good to go Git-wise, like they know how to branch and they know how to share their branches with one another. But the first couple of weeks, it's a good idea to have them do it on the call. Then during even numbered weeks, again, we always start with demos of the pairs work. And then we have a retrospective. And again, there is a guide here in the weekly syncs on what kinds of things we do during retrospective. We'll prepare a project board. We give appreciations to one another. We talk about the things that went well during the past couple of weeks. And then we talk about what are some of the things that got in our way, what could be improved. And then we come up with some action items for us as mentors and for them as a team, like how do we improve our processes? How do we work together better? So that's on even weeks, we'll have retrospective. And then again, at the end of the weekly sync, then we lead the assignment. We talk through the issues for the coming week, answer any questions, and get them started for the week. Whew, it's a lot of information. Just know that this handbook is available for you. It's, I know when I was starting out as a mentor, I was super nervous about like, what do I do week to week? How can I be the best mentor? But this playbook that really Stacy put together is just chock full of knowledge. So please feel free to go through this. Project weekly cadence. So this section is really about how do we set up, how do we help Collabies organize their time throughout the week? So as both mentors and participants, I think the time commitment expectation is about 5 hours per week. We really don't want Collabies spending more than 5 hours per week on this project. We understand that everyone has jobs, everyone has lives, they have families. We want to make the program as accessible as possible. So it's super important that we really over communicate that idea that they really only need to spend 5 hours per week on the project. And if they're running into issues with that, we want to try to help them figure out how to get to that 5 hour mark, right? Is there something we can do? Is there some way that they can manage their time better? So in terms of encouraging them to manage their time, usually our weekly syncs are on Sundays or Saturdays. I would like to just put in a plug for Saturday weekly syncs. I love Saturday weekly syncs. We've traditionally like had them on Sundays, but I don't know what it is, but having that meeting on Sunday for me, just like, I don't know, having it on Saturday makes me feel like I have more of a weekend. So just throwing that out there, mentors, Saturday weekly syncs are really great. So you'll have your weekly sync on Saturday or Sunday. A lot of times the pairs will get started with kind of the initial planning of their issues. They decide when they're going to pair during the week because we expect them to pair for about 2 hours during the week. They'll decide who's going to research what, so they're really prepared. So they're really prepared when they get together to pair, right? So Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, that's when that research and planning and then the actual development happens. I like to encourage the pairs to put up a draft PR really early in the week, even if it's just an empty commit, so that they can share information there, they can communicate with mentors there. Having a draft PR very early in the week is fantastic. And then having them shoot for Wednesday or Thursday at the latest to have their PRs ready to review. I think one of the biggest surprises for participants is like how long code review actually takes, because it has to go through kind of 2 cycles of that code review. One, their peers review their pull request first, and then once it's approved by them, then we as mentors review that code. So like there is quite a feedback loop that's happening, and it takes a while to go through that. So encouraging them to, one, get that PR in by Wednesday, Thursday at the latest, and then to over communicate about when those PRs are ready to review, right? And encouraging the other pair to get to those code reviews really quickly is really fantastic. Fridays and Saturdays, that's when we're doing that, that code review and getting their PRs approved and merged into main. Okay, that is the gazillion bits of information. Whew. Okay, and then I think Stacy, I'm going to pass it off to Stacy.
Yes, excellent. Hold on, let me move my chat back over here so
sure.
I can see you all and answer any questions you have. Okay.
Can I just interject, because I'm going to get back on the road here in a minute. But I'm Andrew. I've met almost all of you. I think Scott and Nadia are the 2 people I haven't met. So nice to meet you. I just want, I'm kind of on a road trip at the moment, but I just wanted to kind of stop in and just say hi and how much I appreciate all of you and just kind of volunteering your time to help these early career developers. So thank you so much. I look forward to working with all of you. Lauren and I are going to be mentoring a team, so I'll be right there in the trenches with you this coming forward. So take care. I'll see you. I'll actually see Stacy in about an hour and a half.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew.
Yep. All right. See you later.
Okay. Bye. Okay. So. Okay. Yes. Assistant mentors. There are some assistant mentors on this call right now. In the past, they've always been former Collab participants. We have some people that are fresh out of the box this time, which is really exciting. But there is a certain role that the assistant mentor plays. There's some weekly tasks that have to happen. So there's this expectation guide here, but high level with mentors, assistant mentors, Collabbies, anybody part of our community, one of the best ways you can help is to do whatever you feel excited about doing. So if you see a project that you'd like to do or an automation you want to build or some way to make Collab Lab better, please always feel totally empowered to help. Like, again, we're completely volunteer driven. So the only way we can continue growing is by people volunteering their time and skills. So help in whatever way you want, whether that's with Collab Lab at large or with your team, whatever you feel comfortable with, feel empowered to do. There is no limit. But the required tasks are scheduling meetings. There is definitely at least the weekly sync that will need to be scheduled. And then office hours get scheduled, but generally by the person hosting office hours. And if there's any extra things that need to be scheduled, that will be your responsibility to schedule. And the way that we do that is we generally will use Doodle to send out a doodle to see when people are available. And then once everybody shares their availability, you can send out a calendar event and invite everybody. And there's a / command in Slack that will hopefully give you all of the emails for the people on your team. So you do / emails followed by your team number, and that'll give you their addresses so that you can just copy and paste them into the calendar event. That weekly sync, make that a recurring one. And another thing that you'll do is, and I'm going to skip down, but it'll be your responsibility to spin up the Zoom link every week for that meeting. So we'll make sure you get those credentials that you need to have the unlimited time, but you can get that link like right at the beginning before your cohort even starts and just stick it in that calendar event so your team always has it. But I would also suggest posting that in the Slack channel on the day of your weekly sync so that they can have easy access to it without going into the calendar event. Manage that however you will. Okay, The second thing is Slack communication. So what we'll do is, if you're the assistant mentor, there's an automation, or you can do this manually, whatever is comfortable for you, and we'll send you the details on how to set up the automation. But you'll need to post in the Slack channel who the pairs are for the week. So say it's like Stacy and Luca are a pair and Yenli and Lauren are a pair. You'll post 2 messages in Slack so that they can then thread their communication under that. And it'll keep Slack nice and tidy, but encourage them to keep all of their communication like in the open so that mentors can follow along and see where they're at. And if they need help, they can be familiar with the process and what has been going on. So you'll post those initial messages and encourage them to thread their communication inside their paired message. Let's see. Okay. Answer questions about the, you'll answer questions if they have any questions about their work that they're doing, if you have the answers. And anytime there's a learning module, you'll post the slides in the channel as well. Okay, and then the final requirement is that we upload, like we'll check with our team before the cohort starts to make sure they're comfortable with the weekly syncs being recorded and posted to YouTube. But what you'll do is you'll record all of those Zoom meetings and upload them to YouTube, and we have instructions on how to do that. And this is really important because our Collabbies can use this as an artifact when they go to job hunt, or if they want to show somebody like what they've been working on. So for example, when they're going out to search for a job and they want to be like, I have experience working on a team and demoing and doing retros and stuff. Here is proof that I can do that. And then they can have their demos prepared in like a really nice way for their portfolio and stuff. So we'll make sure those get uploaded to YouTube. And then optional tasks, again, do whatever you feel comfortable with. But if you want to lead a learning module, feel totally empowered to do that. If you want to host your own office hours, that's fine too. And if you want to do code reviews, you can as well. But know that you don't have to do those things if you don't feel comfortable or you don't have the time. Just set very clear expectations about what you will be doing. So that's what assistant mentors will do. And some other things that happen for mentors at large are at the end of the cohort, you'll work with your fellow mentors to do a Dev 2 post about your team. And there's so many examples of this. I mean, we're like what, on team 20, going into team 26 or something now. So there are plenty of examples of what this looks like. And it shouldn't be a big elaborate thing. It's you think through some of the strengths that your team had, some of the things that they worked through, and you'll tag them and link to their LinkedIn's or Twitter's or whatever it might be, so they can get some exposure and so they can kind of have a document of like, see what I did. My mentors wrote about it and they were proud of me. So show them some love in that Dev 2 post in a very public way. At the end of the cohort, we generally will also do a mentor retro to talk about what things went well and what things could be improved so we can continue making Collab Lab better and the mentor experience better. And Twitter is like our marketing lifeblood. We don't advertise, we don't do any marketing, we just spread by word of mouth. So if you're out there tweeting about us, which is how the majority of the people find out about Collab Lab, I would beg to say 90% of people probably find out about Collab Lab through Twitter, if not more. So if you can share some love on Twitter about Collab Lab, that's great, but also about your Collabbies, because that's really great way to sort of recommend them in a public way and give them some exposure in dev communities to tweet about the great hard work that they're doing. So, on your weekly syncs, if you grab a screenshot, or if your weekly sync just ended and you're like, tag these people, they did such a brilliant job on their app this week, and just show them some love and just kind of sponsor them in that way. Other helpful ways to contribute, sharing resources. If you come across things, articles, job postings, whatever it might be active in the Slack community for Collab Lab at large, sharing the things that you find, sharing the things that you know. Be noisy about improvements that need to be made at Collab Lab. You can participate in the application review process. We're getting ready to go through it now, but the next time it comes around, if you want to participate in the selection, that's really helpful. You can help with our Tech Talk series if you're interested. You can give Tech Talks, or you can just help organize it by like showing up and recording it and putting it on YouTube for us. There's lots of little ways that we need volunteer time. Participate in Career Lab, which many of you have already done. We need help mock interviewing people, doing job fit and technical interviews. We need help reviewing people's LinkedIn. If you want to lead one of the sessions, that is totally something that we need volunteers for as well. And contribute to the endless list of to-dos. We have so many things that we need to do. We have so many automations that need to be created, but because it's volunteer driven, it's mostly just all of us, like all hands on deck, doing things manually because we haven't had the time to take care of some of these automations. So there are so many things you can do if you want to contribute in other ways. Please do that. Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot to be done. No pressure, but if you want to help, let me know because I could totally use it.
Stacey could use some help.
I could use some help.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one more thing. So two more things. First, thank you for being here. Thank you for volunteering to be mentors. Like Stacey said, mentors are really the heart and soul of Collab Lab, and we really couldn't do it without you, and you're the best. So thank you for being here. So, oh, does someone have a question?
No, I just yelled truth.
Oh. Excellent. So what is next? So the very next step, if you are the team lead of your team, please set up a mentor planning meeting. So just go ahead and use Doodle to find a time for your mentor team to meet. Stacey, I know that you are working on the Notion doc, the checklist template. Are we still working on that? Should we use the...
Okay. So here is the situation, friends. I desperately want to make mentoring as smooth and easy and predictable as it can be because there's a lot to be done and I don't know the best way to do it. And so we know that it has been helpful because we started doing this like about halfway through. We know it's very helpful to go ahead and detail exactly who's responsible for what before the cohort even begins. Who's doing what learning modules, who's leading demos, who's leading retros, and making sure everybody knows what they're doing. But I don't know the best way to organize it and make sure you feel on top of things. So in the past, I had been posting in the mentors channel, like, here's who's responsible for everything these weeks. But that's also like a lot of pressure on me to like go dig up every week and respond. So I want to get away from doing that and put the tools in your hands to make sure you know what you're in charge of and what you're responsible for. So in Drive, if you want to open this up, this is what we've always used in the past. And you can use this if you want to use this, where during your mentor planning meeting, you can go through this agenda and then detail your responsibilities down below. And you can pin this to the mentors channel, use this as a reference every week to know who's doing what. But I wanted something a little more robust and a place where you can take better notes and a place that's easier to follow. Yeah, Lyle, there is a link to this in the mentor orientation, but Lauren, yeah, you can send it in the chat right now too. Okay, so this is one option for staying on top of things. The other option is I've started working on this Notion document. So if you can open the mentor checklist, so you can see it says or there, use this thing or use this other thing. I'm trying to create this mentor checklist. And this is a template, so you would copy it in the same way you would copy the Drive one. And the idea here is that each of these tasks, so you can see like in the middle column where it says tasks, there is more details, like there's a place where we can really detail what exactly you're supposed to do. So if you open schedule weekly syncs, this will give you like a sample message that you can send to your team. And the idea here is that like, I want to go through and grab sample messages for all of these things that you have to do so that you can just tweak them and make them your own and send it and not have to think through exactly what you're supposed to say. And then in each of the things, there's also links to where you can find more information on how to do it. And I'm just trying to give you more information so you feel more prepared and can get things in one place. And there's a check mark so you can check when it's done and you can assign it to whatever mentor is responsible for it. But I also recognize that this doesn't seem like an amazing solution either. So what I want from you all this time around, choose whichever method you want, whether you choose the drive, whether you choose this, and let me know what you think we can do to make it better. Let me know what kind of tool you need in place to make sure you're staying on top of it and know what you need to do in the easiest way. Does that make sense? It makes sense that it doesn't make any sense at all right now, and that I need help from the people who are actually doing the work on how to make it easier. Does that sound good? Can you like work with your fellow mentors to kind of just talk through like what would be good? And so the idea with this mentor checklist, again, is you fill it all out, you pin it to the mentors channel, and then throughout the week, you can just reference it and be like, oh, here's the Slack message I need to send. Yeah, exactly, Lyle. So just like, and like I have so many ideas for like how automations could help us here. Like, cause it's nice to get notes in Slack about like, here's what's coming up this week. But again, somebody has to set the automation up, and that's probably me. So if you can help me kind of think through what would be most helpful to make the mentoring experience really smooth and predictable and make you feel secure in knowing what you're doing. Sorry to give you guys kind of like a trash heap, but I want to do what's right for you. And I don't know what that is. I don't know. So I need your help.
Yes. So like next up, mentor planning meeting. During that meeting, choose either use the existing Google Doc, just make a copy of that, or use the cool new Notion mentor checklist template, make a copy of that, give that a shot. What's really nice as a mentor is knowing what weeks you're doing what. So having that planning meeting to prepare in advance, like, oh yeah, I'm responsible for this learning module this week. I'm responsible for the retrospective. Oh, I'm doing office hours such and such a week. It's just really nice to have that planned out in advance so you can think through your weeks better, right? It makes your life easier.
Something I want to call out on that too is there's like the main responsibilities Lauren was talking about, and then there's also code reviews. And in the past, we've had teams do it differently. Some teams choose to have one person be responsible for code reviews that week, and other teams choose to just all be in, whoever can do it. So you'll see code reviews on that responsibilities list, but if you all just want to be in it together or play it by ear, that's totally fine too.
Yep, absolutely. And so mentor planning meeting, you may not be able to assign all of those tasks during that period of time. You can do it asynchronously. Of course, you just like, especially as the lead mentor, just want to make sure that all of those slots are filled in before the cohorts starts, so people feel comfortable and they know what they're doing. Yeah, then you want to share that schedule in the, we share it in the Mentors Summer 2021 channel. Right, and I think everyone's a member of that. Oh my gosh, what questions do you have? That was a lot.
It is a lot. And I wrote this in the chat, but I really, really, really want to emphasize, like, there's a lot documented. Like, definitely check out the Guide to Weekly Syncs. That is like one of the most important documents. But if you can't find information or you just want to talk about it more, always be noisy and ask, because we want you to be successful. We want you to be successful for your sake and for the sake of Collabbies. So there are no dumb questions. You will never hear like I hate it when I ask a question and somebody's like, yeah, it's documented over here. It's like, rude. Okay, tell me more. So there's no question you shouldn't feel comfortable asking. Ask me anything. Ask Lauren, ask Andrew, ask in the mentors channel, because there's like 50 mentors who have done this before and probably have insight that they would love to share with you. So ask the questions. It also helps us figure out where there are holes and where things are confusing. So if we don't hear the questions, then we don't know where to improve. So be loud. We're here for you.
During the spring one, it wasn't always clear. I mean, we were pretty focused on doing, what our group was working on. We didn't do a whole lot of like creeping on the other teams and what they were doing on, so we didn't like, pop in on their channels and like, kind of do that kind of thing. Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think there should be more of that? Like, hey, you should poke in and see what everybody else is doing. There's an element of that where I think like, oh, you don't want to, metric yourself on what other people are doing. It should be about your team and your group and working together. But at the same time, like, do you think there's value in kind of, you know, observing the other teams and seeing what's up?
Yinli, do you have your hand up because you have a question or a response?
I have a response.
Oh, perfect. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I can speak to that in terms of, before my last spring one, I was lurking in the cohort before. And so I was observing Lauren's team. So I think it was TCL 16 or 17, I think 17. And then last session, I was also peeking into Lauren's again, because Lauren has been doing this so many times over and over again. So that was really helpful for me to get some of the signals that I needed from Lauren to like, she's mentoring me without realizing that she is. So if that's what you need, I definitely recommend, like, everybody is welcome to hop into these channels and observe, because that's how if that's how you learn, then it's welcome. I think this community is very transparent and open. So really lean into that.
I love that. And Yenli, that is almost exactly what I would have said. Like, you know how I'm giving sample messages on that Notion doc? Almost every single one of them is going to be me going in and being like, from Lauren, second weekly think, like, because she like communicates really effectively in her channel. And I think, like, be wary of your time and energy when it comes to popping into other channels. Like, maybe don't get involved, but like definitely see like what the energy is like over there. I've on a few occasions been in the mentors channel, like, go check out this team's channel. They're really lively and really vibing over there. And like, we should try and like spread this kind of energy throughout the entire cohort. So yes, pop in if you need it and if you want to, but be protective of your time and energy as well. Oh, Lauren, I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry, I'm muted. I totally do the same thing. I look at other people's channels and like see how they do things and get inspired by how people do things and copy it.
I would add one more thing. I usually, if I'm not sure like how to handle some situations, I did it in the past. I posted in the mentors channel, asked how other teams handled certain situations. And I also got great feedbacks in terms of that. So that's also a great way to get more information.
I love that. Yes, be super noisy. Even if you don't have a question, like, make the mentors channel really noisy. Like, if something interesting happened on your team, or if they did something that like you liked or you thought was weird or whatever it might be, just be really noisy about that, because we can all lean on each other as a whole community and learn and grow together. So yes, Luca, 100. Other comments, questions, concerns? If you don't have them right now, you will. And we're here for you. So just be noisy in Slack. Again, there are no dumb things to say or questions to ask. In fact, I love hearing from you all in Slack. When I see people posting in Slack, I'm like, look, they're here. It's like my friends showed up to the party. I love it.
Excellent. All right, everyone, be respectful of your time. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
And we're so excited to get started.
Yep. The very next thing is just work with your fellow mentors. Yep. Create a thread in Slack in the Summer Mentors channel. So be like open so that everybody can get an idea of how you're working and stuff again, so we can learn from each other and schedule that meeting.
All right.
Good. Yay. Thank you all so much. And we will see you in Slack. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.